Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I haven't made a video in a long time. I've just been kind of busy and actually really been a stressful last couple of months. Just a lot going on. I've tried to make some videos, but it didn't feel right. I was gonna make a video today and just kind of update you and let you know what's been going on with me. Maybe it'll give you some insight in your own life. So my wife and I, my daughter, both of my daughters, we all had COVID. My daughter's up in Idaho, so she got it independent of us, but we all got it about the same time, which is interesting. It was kind of like I told my wife, I said it was just our time to get it. My wife was sicker than I was, but we didn't have to go to the hospital. I was just really thankful. She got over it. I'm totally over it now. So I've been from the first day I had symptoms to now. I think is about 20 days, and I'm like 100% better. My wife's 100% better too. So we're doing really well. My daughter, she's almost 14, and she was really mildly ill. She barely had any symptoms, and so that was really a blessing. And then my other daughter, she's 18, and she was much sicker. She was about the same as my wife and I, basically, in terms of how she felt. But she was, she's away from home and she's staying with my dad. So it was a little hard on her. I think just being away from home. I think had she been at home, it wouldn't have been as bad. But it was miserable. I had a lot of had like night sweats and chills. The first about 3 nights, I'd wake up, wet, soaking wet. A little bit of a headache, not too bad. My wife had more of a headache. A little bit of a sore throat, a little bit of a cough. My wife had more of a cough than I did. Mostly just fatigue, low energy. Trying to get back to, getting back to feeling good again was hard. And I did my first workout today, so I did my first weight training workout today. It's the first time I've worked out in about 20 days. And it felt great. So my energy's 100% back. And update at the hospital is absolutely overrun with COVID. I mean, I think we're a pretty small hospital. I don't know how many beds we are, but we have over 60, something like 65 patients with COVID right now. And it's a wake-up call, So I didn't receive the vaccine for various reasons. I was a little, concerned about it, but my job has mandated it now, and so I did get the first vaccine. I'm doing good, no problems. I've heard all the horror stories, and I've heard all the stuff, with people having reactions and problems and I don't think it's right that they mandated it. I'll just say that. I think it's wrong. But I have a family and I have responsibilities, financial responsibilities that supersede any safety aspect for me. So, I mean, for me personally, it was a no-brainer. I'm going to get it. I have to make money. I have to support my family. I have other coworkers who are in a position where they could work or not work. They have a lot of family support. Maybe their husband works. They don't have to. So maybe they'll quit over it. I don't know. But I don't. It's everybody. Everybody has to make a choice. But I put it in a higher power. I put it in the hands of a higher power, and because I was really upset about it, and I was very concerned, and you want to do the right thing, and you want to be principled, but at the same time, you still have to live in the world, and the world's a messy, dirty place, and sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do, and I think having faith and having your faith to draw on, it gives you strength in those times when I mean, when a soldier goes off to war, I'm sure they're, unless they're a psychopath or sociopath, they don't want to kill anybody, but they have to. And imagine, I mean, that would be rough. And but they have to do it because it's required. And so anyway, I'm maybe justifying my position, which, like I said, I don't have to justify it to anyone. And that's another lesson with all this is, you got to do what you got to do for your family, for yourself, and it doesn't matter what everyone else says. There's so much vitriol right now, and you know, another thing too is I'm going to start wearing a mask at the stores. I I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, but COVID it's running wild. It's our hospital's full, the hospitals downtown are full, and the children's hospital's full of RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, and so it's just blowing up, and I'm going to be extra cautious. I'm not I'm all about personal freedom and all that. I don't agree with mandating things. I don't. And but for me personally, I'm gonna start wearing a mask at the stores and stuff. Anyway, what I wanted to make this video about more or less was just having a reserve on all levels. And when you go through dark times, when you go through difficult things, like for my family, this last couple of months has been really stressful. Maybe the most stressful in our life, in our marriage, my wife and I's marriage, too. You have to have a reserve to pull on, and there's different levels of that, right? There's the physical reserves. Do you have food and water? Do you have money? Do you have extra gas cans? Do you have a generator? Do you have a cook stove? Can you sustain yourself if you were to be, if all the food got jerked out of circulation? The trucks stopped arriving. Would you have enough to get by for a couple weeks or however long? Physical health. People are walking around in absolute metabolic chaos from all this processed food. And I'm seeing at the hospital, yes, we do get people who come in who are, you would think they're reasonably fit, and it seems odd that they would be hospitalized for this. There are those people, but the vast majority of the people are, metabolically unstable. And what I mean by that is they're diabetic, pre-diabetic, they're carb junkies. They're living on carbohydrates and junk food, and when I say junk food, I mean processed food. And they're not exercising, they're not staying in shape, and it's all age ranges. I mean, I had patients that were in their 30s, I had patients in their 60s, and all in between. And none of them, they're all running around with metabolic disarray. I mean, you can always have a person who's super healthy and has no, underlying issues that you know of, that can get something and die. I mean, we see that with the flu every year. We see that, but COVID's, it's bad, and I think it's just going to keep cycling through, and we've got to dig a well. If you haven't dug a well in your life, and I mean have a reserve, you're going to have a problem, because when I was sick with it, it was mild, respiratory wise mild. I did get shortness of breath. I mean, I could tell like when my breath came back. I could feel when it kind of lifted, and I was like, oh, I can take a deep breath now and stuff, and not get winded. I was getting short of breath at work just wearing a mask when I was recovering still, and and I work out every day. I'm not a cardio. I don't do a lot of cardio, but I do a lot of weightlifting and weight training. So, it's good to have some reserves, and it requires some physical exertion. You're going to have to work a little bit. I think of like Navy SEALs. They'll train and lift weights and bulk up and get in shape. And the reason they do that is because when they go on a mission, they might not get to eat for 3 or 4 days or a week. They might be on like barely surviving rations for a week. So they're feeding off of their body. They're feeding off of the muscle that they built up in their downtime. We all kind of got to be like that. I mean, it's I hate to break it to everybody, but not everybody's going to survive this. This isn't going to be a survivable thing for every person, and it's it is survival of the fittest. And you've got to dig a well. You got to have some reserves. You got to be able to pull up some reserves when things go down. I don't even know how much weight I lost, and like I said, I wasn't very sick, but I hardly ate anything for probably 10 days. So, I mean, I had to have lost 10 or 15 pounds. And I never weighed myself because I don't want to know. But I'll build it back fast because I've been there before, and and I train and I work out. And we've all got to, that's just it's, and then the most important thing I wanted to mention and talk about was just the spiritual level of this, because remember, you have a lot of spiritual support. And I do this Sahaj Marg, the Heartfulness Path, which has given me a tremendous amount of support, and it's given me a tremendous amount of support through this experience, because having to be mandated to get this vaccine really stressed me out, and it was really stressful. So I had the day that I'm just recovering from COVID. I've just been back to work a few days. I have to get the vaccine. I'm still not feeling super great, but I have to get the shot. I'm super worried about it. And so, I prayed about it, and I basically just gave it to God. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm giving this over to a higher power. And I'm learning to do this more and more. And so this is, but putting this spiritual practice into place, it can actually really benefit you in your life. And I'm not looking to absolve myself of responsibility. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, for my peace of mind and my own mental health, I got to give it to somebody bigger and stronger. I can't do it. And so I did that, and that night I went to bed and I slept, and I had a dream, and in the dream I was flying, and I haven't had a flying dream in a really long time. But in the dream I was like in this, like, I don't know if it was a restaurant or a store or something, and I was flying around, and it was so cool, and it felt so free, and I was like, oh man, when I got up in the morning, I'm like, that was a gift. That was a gift from these. It was a gift. I'll just leave it at that. After going through all this stress of having to get the vaccine and working and trying to work while I'm recovering from being sick, and then taking care of so many seriously ill patients, and on top of that, we're short-staffed. It was, it was awesome. So I'm grateful to have this spiritual reserve that I've been working on and developing. And it's just like anything else. It just has to be, you just have to work on it, develop it, know your limitations. It's kind of like weightlifting. I'm not going to go in there and try to bench press 300 pounds. I'll crush myself. And it's the same with the life. There's certain situations in your life where you go, okay, I'm at the edge. I don't know. I can't lift that weight. And then you let the higher power do it. And like I said, it's not absolving you of any responsibility or anything like that, but it's just giving it over to a higher power. There's certain situations in our life where we can't make the best decision. We don't know. It's just a point of we don't know. Panditji, I used to follow Ravi Shankar. He was a follower of Maharishi, and then he started his own little spiritual movement called The Art of Living. It's really good. They teach a lot of like breathing exercises, and they call it Kriya Yoga, but it's like a breathing meditation exercise. And it's legitimate, but and he would say there's the little I don't know, and then there's the big I don't know. The I don't know and I don't know. And it's like this wonder. The I don't know, the big I don't know is the I don't know of wonder. It's so big and so fast, and I just don't know. And like I say, it's not about absolving responsibility. It's about just giving it over to a higher power. And anyway, just wanted to leave you guys with that. I don't know. I feel great. I feel optimistic. I know this just a crazy world right now, and things are just going haywire. But I feel awesome, and I think getting sick like this when I did was kind of it was like a nexus. It was a turning point. It was for me personally, and for my family too, because it's kind of weird we all got it at the same time, and the fact that my daughter up in Idaho got it at the same time. So it was some kind of karmic thing maybe, and anyway, so hope you guys are doing good. I'll try to make some videos and try to be more consistent. I noticed I got a couple new followers, which is weird because I haven't made a video in like 2 months. But I welcome you, and talk to you later.